Oh yeah, we're gonna be live on YouTube right now. We rolling like it's stolen, baby. We back in the game again, young other gang. It don't stop, it don't quit. We live in the building with the brother Rod Hayes. He get his mic set up right now. Oh yeah. Get him in here and let him know we live. We back again. Question and answer class, baby. Hey, close my door, Hakeem. We live again.
You hear me, Adam?
Yep. I'm trying to get that thumbnail loaded up. All right, so your questions and answers are stimulated around the stuff that we already talked about.
It don't matter. Open Q&A, whatever they want to ask.
Open Q&A, baby. We live, we lit. All right, we put this right here for to be good. Hold on, let me get this thumbnail put up on this joint. The black hand, baby. The Jewish Defense League. The Jewish Defense League. Oh, I got a couple questions too, Brother Rod.
We'll start with your questions, and that'll
yeah, okay, all right, because my shit is fire, man. I'm telling you, my shit is fire. Hold on, I'm setting it up right now. This right here for to be good. Y'all better get on up in here.
I'm finna pause for a minute to go to the lab downstairs where I can.
Go ahead. By the time you come back, I'll have it set up. I'm gonna keep it warmed up. Give them time to get
here. I'm still on here because you know I'm on the move, so you don't have to set the camera on just yet.
Okay, all right. Oh yeah, we told y'all. It don't stop, it don't quit, baby. We know the ancestors are moving extremely fast right now. The planet speeding up. The time, what they call in time, is speeding up. I don't look at it as time. I look at it as the electromagnetic frequency that's be on a belt that's moving throughout the universe. And it's like that light, because light, when you record with a camera, light is how you record that frequency. And then that frequency is stored by way of magnetism on crystals and laser type technology. Some advanced shit, man. I got like another tape coming out tomorrow called Ancient Kemet is Wakanda. That shit's gonna be like, man, when I tell you that shit's gonna be lit. All right, we got the chat, man. So look, I'm gonna post the brother Rod Hayes Cash App in the links. If you want to send the brother some love, we got this Cash App in the links. Also, as well, this is a Q&A, a live Q&A, man. They tell you, with the legendary Rod Hayes. So any question you got, make sure you drop it in the chat, man. We're gonna get that question for you. We're gonna get that question going for you. So we're gonna get ready to start with my questions. As soon as we get we got 100 people up in this joint. That's about enough right there to rock this joint, man. That's about enough right there. By the time
they're telling people that we answering questions.
Yeah. So the first question we got for you, Brother Rod Hayes, is how long do we got until everything that we've been talking about, how I know we're down to seconds till this devil get took out of here. How long do we got till the devil is completely removed? Is it counting on us, what we do, as far as what our thinking? How long do we got until this devil is really off our back? This monkey is off our back. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't have an exact date because it's based on critical mass of awareness. If we don't have critical mass of awareness, the devil gonna stay there torturing us. That's what it's based on, Elder. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. That's fire. That's a fire answer. That's the same thing I was thinking. Critical is based on the minds. We as a people, we still we still deal with the devil shit. You know what I'm saying? His money. It's really his money. Some of his chemicals and his food and his language. And we're always gonna keep the English language because we earned it, right? But I'm saying,
no, we're not. We're gonna be moving to Nuwapu.
That's right.
We're gonna be speaking Nuwapic on the land. The language is being updated as we speak.
That's right. That's why that brother, man, look, the ancestors sent that brother, Naya Malachi. I just did a tape with him on the language. He's teaching the language fluently, teaching the language, man. So, man.
Yeah, the language is very important because what we under now, and this is why critical awareness is important. We are under something called a unum sanctum papal bull. Unum mean one, sanctum is a sanctuary. And the papal bull is the order. But the unum sanctum is it's the power grid that they control with money magic. They control it with blood magic. They control it with sex magic. And as long as we don't have control of our personal energy, because, okay, so imagine a nuclear power plant that got a bad nuclear reactor and is leaking.
Okay.
That's our state when we are acting under the unum sanctum. We like leaking Tesla coils, just spitting electricity randomly. No self-control, no understanding of the self. Scared to do the shadow work because we got to face our shadow self. And we more fearful of our shadow self than we could possibly imagine because they told us over so many generations that anybody did shadow work was evil. So the awareness kicks in the 100 monkey effect. The 100 monkey effect is the survival instincts of a species. That's why, if you notice, when I first started 3 years ago, it was only a handful of people trying to tell us we was organic to the land, or autochthons, or
right,
indigenous, or natives, whatever term they want to choose to use. But we knew we was already here, but we didn't really know how to put the puzzle together. Now that I've been saying it, the more I say it, the more people become aware, the more people become independently aware, and that's what we're trying to do. The more people that become independently aware, based on the awareness of the people we affect with these questions and answers, with these lectures, with these, let's go pull up the receipts, the more people that we make aware, they become a charging station for the people around them, even though they appear to be dead mentally at the time. You get it?
Yep.
All right, the next question we got for you, brother. I got to do it in my Sonetta voice. The next question we got for you, brother.
All right. So, when the United States, we know the United States is being put out of business. So now who's taking over that business? Is it us? Is it the mixed Indian, the one that was on the channel staking his totem pole, or is it the black Nubian, more Washita people taking over? How's the exchange happening? The reset, how is it gonna happen?
Everybody got to be represented at the council. The Council of Elders has already been picked. The Council of Elders will consist of an elder, even though you might not know they related to you at the time. But it's the most loved, most respected person out of each of the family trees is the how you determine who the elders is. When you're looking for a council of elders, you go to all of the ones that's most loved, most respected across the land. And then you start building your council of elders if they are loved and respected by you. All of the ones who ain't doing shit, your Jesse Jacksons, your Al Sharptons, and motherfuckers like that, they just trying to uphold that secret blood oath so they don't get their goddamn head chopped off. But sad to say that if them niggas don't bump straight, they gonna have to see them motherfuckers that they don't want to see. And they know what I'm talking about too, if they listening. The only ones that been doing their job in the last 25 years has been Claude Anderson. Well, you know, Bobby got sick, but Claude Anderson, Bobby Hemmett, my man that wrote The Debt, last name Robinson, I forgot his first name. I keep mixing him up with a guy I went to school with. I think his name Randall Robinson wrote The Debt. Then you got Farrakhan, like a lot of people, like they want to take his face off the mural. Good riddance, motherfucker. You come take it down with your bad ass. If you want it off there, you come take it off because you don't even understand what the fuck you saying, calling him a divisive figure. And he the only one been speaking up for the poor white trash out of all of the black leaders. Don't none of them speak up for them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody speak up for poor white trash. Baba had a community forum where they could set up their own community and he give them the program and education. But Farrakhan actually is one of the few people that speak up about the poor white trash, as they call it. So the critical awareness is is all of these things being met. So when we take over, we in continuity of government, FEMA document, for the ones that don't know where we at in the greater scheme. We've been in the FEMA document almost a year now. Well, really, it's been longer than that, ever since Trump left office. We've been under continuity of government, and the whole Sleepy Joe thing is just a whole stage show for the ones who ain't woke yet.
We got another question for you, brother. A question from the chat from Mrs. Potter. She says, okay, let's go back to the one she said. How can I open my pineal gland?
Your pineal gland is open on its own. You just got to do your shadow work. Right now, the UVBs, UVAs, the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun right now affecting the Earth's grid. The Earth has something called the ionosphere, which is a heavily static electrically charged field around the Earth. And when these UVB rays or the ultraviolet rays go through the magnetosphere, it converts them and it answers a whole bunch of questions and it begins to work on you. So the pointers that I give people is clean your fucking filters. Your filters is your liver. Your filter is your kidneys. Your filter is your intestines. Them your main filters. Your secondary filter is the lymphatic system. And then you have to do a heavy metal cleanse. All this stuff I actually done. So once you do that, by the time you start getting through the cleansing process, you should notice some significant changes in everything from your breathing to your diet. Everything is going to gradually change on its own. Like people say, I'm going to go vegan. Well, I didn't do it that way. My body said, I don't want no meat. So I said, okay, I didn't give it no meat. But when my body asked for some chicken, goddamn it, fry that motherfucker over there. I'm coming to get it. Right? Because my body is telling me the steps to my ascension the same way my spirit is, but I don't know how to read my body. So learn to read your body by learning what things affect your body when you eat. They tell you how to track your diet. And your diet will change and show your evolution. So opening your pineal gland is not no one thing you can do. But cleaning your filters, spiritual baths are also important. And grounding, walking barefoot on the soil is also important. And if you really want to get down and dirty, you do what look like salat on the soil. Put your feet to your knees, to your palms, to your forehead on the ground, 5-point connection, and let mama talk to you, because she going to tell you something then. That's the next question, Elder. Is that good enough for that? You need some more on that?
Yeah, hey, now that's fire. That's fire. They say that's fire. All right, the next question we have for you, brother, is from the brother African Booty Scratcher. No, I'll just play. Don't feel bad, brother. We all African booty scratchers. We knew if you a Nubian and you ever scratch your ass, you an African booty scratcher. I done scratched my ass once or twice, so I'm an African booty scratcher. Nah,
I'm not. I'm not.
I'm
I'm
fucking with you. I'm
I'm
being
an
funny.
I'm an organic American booty scratcher.
Yeah, we organic American booty scratch. We are organic American booty scratch. Okay, so hey, shout out to brother African, man. We're gonna read your question. What is the significance of electromagnetic rays to our DNA, and how do we use the energy of it?
Your body gonna use the electromagnetic waves that's hitting your DNA from the sun. I'm assuming this is what he's talking about, either solar. He's either talking about either solar or earth electromagnetic waves, because the earth radiate electromagnetic current out, and the solar rays send in an electromagnetic current with the UV rays within the spectrum of light of the solar system. But once it touches your DNA, it's gonna do its own thing. It's gonna start awakening. Well, based on the planetary spread from where we at in the universe at the close of the Piscean age and the dawning of the age of Aquarius, or the opening of the age of Aquarius, we pulling the lid off this motherfucker in real time, y'all. So those what was known as junk DNA on your DNA codon. Brother Kalai go over this. You have to have him on your show one day, Elder. But Brother Kalai goes over the UV rays real thorough in their effect on the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells and how it affects the body. This is going to be your upgrade. Nature's going to upgrade us. Remember, we've been going over Yakub's grafted double for our past few classes, right? Well, Yakub's grafted double didn't have ascension rights. So you got to kill the double. In other words, you got to make it where he can reach what you call angelic status, or reach a higher vibrational frequency known as the love frequency. If they can't learn to love, they can't stay here, because the earth has to go through this change, and anybody don't learn how to love can't stay here. And anybody that's filled with love can't hate nobody for being here.
That's right.
But we've been taught hate for so long that it's even hard to teach love without elements of teaching hate. Because you got to override all the bullshit by teaching the motherfucker to love themselves after they've been told you a slave, nigga, no good, worthless piece of shit, walking around with your pants sagging and your braided up hair and loud boom-de-boom music. What the fuck is wrong with you niggas, right? So we've come from that. That's what we was being told about ourselves, ego development, right? So we trying to get out of the ego development, which breaks us free from the demi part of the demigod status that we was at as a sleeping giant or waiting to awake, which is also a good book by Anthony Robbins, by the way. Plug a motherfucking book every chance I get.
Fire. That was fire. We got another question for you, brother. They coming in now. The next question we have for you, brother, is from the brother Daniels. He says, do you know how long the rivers, lakes, and streams and creeks will be dead? I guess when he say dead, like pausing where you can't drink it, because the Native Americans said that you used to be able to drink the water off the top. So
that's right. Anywhere we had a body of water before they came, we could drink it. We can't do that now.
He said, when will it return to its original state? Go ahead.
Well, we have to clean it up first. So what's causing the water to be it's called non-potable water when you can't drink it. And what that means is it's some kind of contaminant in the water that'll make you sick. It's either bacteria like E. coli and salmonella, or it's toxins and chemicals like lead and heavy metals that's in the soil. So one of the things we're going to be doing with the Mississippi River, coming from the Missouri River to the Mississippi, is mass dredging, right? And when we dredge this Mississippi River, we're going to have to take up, it's going to be about 6 feet deeper than it is now. but it has to be dredged in order for it to clean up where it flows clean again. And that's still going to take a couple of years after it dredged before you can walk up to the Mississippi and drink out of it again. But it's going to take some time for us to get the earth cleaned up from this shit. Next question, Elder.
The next question we have for you, brother, is from the brother Marcus Corey. The brother says, what does it mean when a UFO hit a bright light, hit you in the face? Now, I say, hey, they want to probe you. So sleep with some grease. Nah, my bad. Go ahead, brother.
I didn't quite understand the question he asked me. You say, what does
it mean when a UFO pull up on you and shine a bright light in your face?
Oh, they just trying to get his attention, because by the time they pull up on him, they already done probed him. They know who he is already. He's been scanned theoretically. They looking at his light, and his light could be fluctuating between woke and not woke. Remember, Baba said that they don't see us by our facial features.
Indeed.
And they don't see us by our body size. They see us by the light that we emit into the ethers. You remember that?
Indeed.
So this is what they doing. They already know who he is. They don't even have to be up close to you to see your light from a distance. They can see who you is. For them to shine a light in your face 9 out of 10, they're just trying to get your attention, make sure you're paying attention that they're there. Because they here, and they here thick. And they all over this motherfucker. And motherfuckers be looking outside the sky and don't see a big ass ship sit there. Cloaked. Because they use a light frequency to cloak themselves. Next question.
Yeah, the question's coming fast. If we miss your question, don't worry, man. I'm gonna try to get to everybody. Hey, the brother Marcus Kufi. He says, can Ron Haynes speak on Doc Scroll, the Great Balls of Fire, the stone spears in Costa Rica?
It's not just Costa Rica. Those great balls of fire have been seen throughout the ages on varying parts of the planet. A lot of what we see in is great balls of fire, what's called ball lightning, right? The only difference is when in Bible book, he show you the steel balls. And actually what those is, it's like the equivalent of, instead of using a nuclear bomb and you just want to like isolate it, it's like shooting a bullet instead of shooting buckshots or throwing a grenade or a bomb. It's like using a bullet. What happens is it's metal. When it comes through the ionosphere, it's gonna become charged with whatever the part of the ionosphere is most charged with at that point, be either electronic or electric or magnet. But when it comes through those ions, it's gonna pick them up, it's gonna catch on fire. But when it get into what's called the lower atmosphere, then that's when you see it start attracting the energy from outside of itself, which look like lightning flying through the sky, because it's triggering the electromagnetic field in the earth from the Schumann resonance to the ionosphere, and it's arcing that like static ball, or like when you drag your feet across the carpet, only because it's such a big piece of metal, the sparks look like lightning. So where they come from, several different places they come from. Some of them come from ships, from smaller, what we call in the Nation of Islam, baby planes. Then you got the ones that the moon shoot. The moon shoot where they got some shit going on and the humans won't fix it, and they got more than enough opportunities. They just shoot a goddamn ball, some ball lightning down here, blow that little area up, or that one man house is doing the dirt or whatever because they can get pretty strategic with them. But they coming from different places and they're not all from the same place. That's why some of them is orbs. Some of them look like cylinders. And some of them are huge, some of them are small, depending on what they was trying to accomplish at the time.
And we got a good one for you right here. Shout out to Sister Spiritual Queen Bling. Her question is, what do you think gonna happen with the housing because the rent and the mortgages are ridiculous? And could you break down to add on to that? Could you break down like the science of the projects or why they put black Nubians in projects or these housing communities where the rent is cheap? Go ahead.
Okay, so first off, the market is gonna collapse. Ain't no doubt about it, because the financial institutions are switching over. Last time they collapsed in 2008, there was a big switch from what we was like the euro came into prominence, and a lot of the currency in Europe fell under the euro, and it caused back a ripple effect over there. And we were supposed in 2008. Canada, the United States, and Mexico was supposed to go to something called the Amero. The Amero was like the Euro, but it was for North American countries. This was under the Bush administration and part of the garden plot to overthrow the earth. And so what happened, what's going to happen is the banks are going to crash. All of the mortgages, secondary mortgage contracts is held by the banks are going to be forfeit by the bank because they're going to collapse. When they forfeit, then that's when you go down there and you ask for your fucking deed to your property from the Secretary of State. Because when the banks fold up, your property, then you got I think it's a 30-day window to put the lien on the property. So y'all got to remember this. You put the lien on the property because you know I don't believe in no paperwork. But the only reason I'm telling them this is to make sure that the mortgage company don't try to come after their house on the recovery. And that's going to, because we don't even want the motherfuckers back in power at all. So when we switching over, we want the many people as they can to become what you call holder in due course. Holder in due course meaning you the real owner. If you got a car and you don't have a paper declaring you holder in due course, you don't own it. The same with a piece of property or a house or a condo. If you're not holder in due course, you're not the owner, you are just the renter. And then the rent is adjusted exponentially based on the economy and how many people you paying the rent to in actuality versus what they telling you on the lease. As far as the projects go, well, that was based on an experiment done with rats in cages, and it had control groups of rat. I'm gonna give you examples of what I'm talking about. Like one control group might be only 5 rats per square foot, or only 2 rats per square foot in a 40-foot enclosure. Plenty of fresh bedding changed every day regularly, and plenty of food and plenty of water, right? And the next one, it might have all of the same shit, except they might never change the bedding. And then in the next one, they might put no bedding in that motherfucker, put them on the hard bottom, give them a limited amount of resources and watch what happens. Well, they found that the first 2 groups managed just fine. And then they increased the population was the key. In other words, they turned condominiums into the projects. Instead of it being a 2-family home, now it's a mother of 8 living there. So you overcrowded on purpose because you knew she had 8 fucking kids when you moved her there. And it's only 2 fucking bedrooms in most of the projects, right? So the projects was a social experiment on humans based on an experiment done by rats. And I posted on that before already on my Facebook page. But a lot of this stuff is on there. I got already posted.
We got another good question for you, brother. I know it's a lot of people out here probably want to know the answer to this one. And we ain't answer them in no specific order. We just click it through and find the question to answer. All right, so I think her name is I lost her name, but I still got the question in my head. So shout out to that. Oh yeah, okay, Connie Turner. All right, Turner. Should people worry about the credit report, their credit report?
Man, my motto is fuck a job, fuck a bill, and fuck credit. Debt is slavery. The better your credit score is, the better of a slave you are. You are the most capable of function as a slave. The better your credit score is.
Oh, that was good right there. Hey, you got that answer. That's a good one. All right. So another brother asks, and we'll get to that brother on the UCC thing. Hey, so a brother asks, what is a star seed? How do you know if you're a star seed, and where do star seeds come from?
If you have to ask how do you know you're a star seed, you ain't woke yet, so you won't be able to tell. But when they say star seeds, all of our souls is accumulated stardust, first and foremost. And when we talk about the star seeds, you got them coming in based on zodiac signs. That's what your star sign is, your zodiac sign, right? And then they call it a sun sign, a kawkab. Kawkab is a Hebrew word for sun and star. So it becomes your star sign, or your zodiac sign. The zodiac sign is your zoo type, or the most prominent totem animal to connect with the energy in your zoo type into, like, for instance, let's take Aquarius is a man pouring out a pitcher of water, right? Water symbolizes spirit astrologically and in dream state. So this is an individual pouring out a bucket of spirit, and it's going to land on earth, right? Now, notice this is one of the few zodiac signs that doesn't have an animal directly attached to it. But it don't mean that it didn't, because if you look, what's right following it is Pisces. So Aquarius comes on the close of Pisces, and they adjacent. One is an air sign, one is a water sign. So the water sign of Pisces was under the sign of believing, and the air sign of Aquarius is under the sign of knowing. So what happened in the process? What was done in the dark accumulated in the water, evaporated up into the skies, and they say, and the voices reached into the heavens as the many waters roared, right? So this is what they're talking about. And so now that we're going into the age of Aquarius, what we learned during the Piscean age, now we have to reap the reward or benefit from. So your star sign, the star seeds that's born now are giving added emphasis through the Pleiades, Arcturus, and not so much Orion, but Orion is always going to be prevalent in our mythology based on reading the stars, because Orion is so prominent in the sky. And you can't forget Sirius, the dog star, is always on the heels of Orion. So when you look at one of them stars, each star you see in the sky sends an electromagnetic, or not electromagnetic, it sends a luminous wave of light that reaches us in the time that it takes to reach us, however long it takes, whether it takes 10 years or 10 billion, we see it based on its perception through our optic lens. That energy that came from whichever star it is out there accumulates as a soul on Earth. So you become a star seed by accumulated light energy, but you're not an awakened star seed if you have to ask, how do you know if you're a star seed? Because once you awaken, that motherfucker ain't gonna have to tell you who you is. You gonna know. So clean your filters and revert back to the earlier part where we talked about opening the pineal gland.
The next question we got for you, brother, they rolling them out. The brother, the art of life. The brother asks who and how to identify those Moors that are not with us. How do you identify their characteristics and what are they all about? Go ahead.
You know them because every time peaceful people congregate, they come around and start bullshit. They start trying to turn people against each other. All you got to do is watch them. You know them. You see them all the time, but it never clicked on you that our people never does that, and they do it all the time, like it's part of their character makeup to start shit everywhere they go. Because when they came into the Earth realm, they came to take over, to disrupt the peace and to cause chaos everywhere they go. So when you're watching them, they the ones that's trying to get you to sell yourself into bondage without telling you that you're selling yourself into bondage, what they call the deceivers or the watcher at the gate. Then you got the ones that's trying to tell you that anybody that's trying to do what's right is something wrong with them. They can point out everybody else in the so-called conscious community or the leaders and tell you what they not doing or should be doing, but they don't do none of the shit that they saying, and they don't care about taking the position from that person. And we're going to use Farrakhan as an example of this. A motherfucker be like, Farrakhan ain't doing nothing for the black community. He only do something for the Nation of Islam. That's because the rest of y'all not part of the Nation of Islam. The thing about Farrakhan is this. He doing more for us as a collective by following the guidelines given by Elijah Muhammad. Because if you follow those guidelines, it's going to teach us how to run a nation. And once you know how to run a nation, you don't need a corporation to train you. And so they always talk bad about somebody that's trying to do right, rarely have anything good to say about anybody but themselves. If you start telling them about a new pair of shoes you like, they're going to always try to one-up you because they always got to be better than you. So you tell me you're going to get Jordans, this motherfucker said, yeah, I just got some Gators the other day, man. You got to check them out. Anybody talk about no fucking Gators? We talking about Jordans, gym shoes, nigga. But he got to one-up them, so what's one-up? Oh, man, Jordans cost this many amount of dollars. So, nigga, I got some Gators. This is a character makeup. You see him everywhere you go. Anytime some bullshit come up, the nigga that's always in the middle of it, but don't nobody never bring up the fact that he was in the middle of it, he is exactly them, directly them. Start shit on both sides, keep your hands clean, and then when they start fighting, you can offer them a motherfucking solution to the problem for a fee. That's their character.
Hey, we got another good one for you. This is a tribal
Hold on.
message.
Add on to that. Baba wrote 2 scrolls. Are there black devils? Right? Remember that? And then he wrote,
Yep.
We see you too, black devil. That's who he talking to. This is them the niggas he talking to.
The more Zionist Jews.
Yep. AKA Satanic Jews, AKA Jacobins, AKA Jacobins, AKA Yakub's grafted devil, AKA the name changing this motherfuckers that ever be on the planet.
All right. Hey, brother Rod, hey, to elaborate on butt crack and how far does it go back? Nah, fuck. We keeping it funny, man. We keeping it funny. All right, I got the next question. All right. Okay, that was a good one right there. Hey, do blood types Smokey? Nah, I can't tell that last part, but Smokey, you know who we talking about? Does blood type play any role in significance of I guess he just asked that straight up. Does blood type play a role in what we doing or what we talking about?
Now the blood types is notice it's the ABO grouping, right? Type A, type B, type AB, type BA, type O, positive or negative, ABO blood group. All they're telling you is who's from Earth and who came to Earth. That's all it's telling you. They ain't telling you nothing more. The best blood on Earth is what we call the universal donor blood. But it's another strain that's more rare than that. And it's not classified as an ABO, but that's all another thing. So the significance of the blood type can be overridden if you awaken your higher conscious. It won't matter what your blood type is. Some people believe that the negatives, Rh negative factor, which is the rhesus factor, which is a protein that's commonly shared with primates, those who don't have that factor, they say that they are more spiritual and more tuned, but I don't know one way or the other, because you can't say how attuned somebody else in or not based on their blood type unless you them. That's like trying to tell you what you see out your eyes without being able to see what you're looking at.
Hey, Divine Kishmet 77 says, "Why do thunder sound so loud? Why is it sounding more louder than usual?" I said that too. Divine Kishmet. Go ahead, Brother Roy. Said, "Why is thunder sounding louder than usual?"
The main reason is because the sisters is waking up. Right now, at the ozone layer is closer to the earth, which holds the sound at a tighter sound wave than it would if that ozone layer wasn't in the process of coming to the earth. If you really pay attention, the sky also look uncannily close. The clouds look closer than normal. When you're looking up, it just seems like the sky is closer. That's because we're moving from a Shu and Min frequency back to a Shu and Tefnut frequency, which I think me and you went over that before, didn't we, Elder?
Yeah.
Right. So as the as the ozone layer get closer to the Earth, and all of these and the pressure change, how loud is the sound in the pressure chamber compared to in the outdoors? The pressure chamber is going to be louder because it's going to compact the sound. The open air, it depends on your proximity to the source of the sound. So when you hear thunder sounding louder than normal, it's because the pressure center of the ozone to Earth is closer than it's been since the last sun cycle. And that's what keeps us from totally burning up in the sun. When the double ozone layer get down to the Earth, our colors is going to start changing gradually. And what was pale people were going to be taking on shades of green, gray, and blue. And what was brown skin to tan people, or what we call chocolate to fawn, their colors are going to be changing to different shades of aqua and bluish green, because when that double oxygen molecule go, it's going to be burning the body. The soul going to burn the copper in the blood faster than it does the magnesium, which is going to sink us back to our original metal in the blood and that's when we're going to start, once again, we're going to be bleeding in shades of from green to blue, but their true blue bloods will be able to be identified at that point.
The next question that we have for you, brother, is: will Donald Trump, or will there be another president? Will Donald Trump get voted in? What you think that, like, after this Joe Biden term right here, what you think is next? Go ahead.
What they doing right now is trying to force people to see the inevitable, what's for y'all in front of y'all face, but they playing out the stage show as if it's going on for real, using the corrupt media as the vehicle to deliver the misinformation. And that's why Trump keeps screaming fake news, is because the media companies is pushing the agenda that Joe Biden is the president. Well, which one of them motherfuckers is the first thing they got to answer for me? And that Trump is out of office. I want to know why the niggas, they go in there and raided his house for those papers, but they still didn't mention the atomic football or the Secret Service box that the president's supposed to have at all times. He left the White House with all that shit. They went in there and talked about some files. Instead of telling y'all what they really going for is something called 72 secret treaties that he sees as the president, and they trying to find him and can't find him because they in Raven Rock under a mountain being reviewed by the leadership organic to the land. And we finding out every goddamn thing from those 72 secret treaties, which ties back to the 72 elders, which ties back to the Melchizedek priesthood, which means that Malachi got to go over that paperwork because he got to see what they stole and where they put everything because it's in the secret shit. It ain't in the open shit. So what we seeing with Biden and Trump right now is a open checker game, chess game. I would say checkers because it's a little lower than the chess game. It's more closer to checkers because it's so obvious that if you got any awakening, it's going to get your attention, that it's some bullshit in play and nobody's seeing
it. From Sky 99, all the Black Mason, Prince of Halls, and John E. Jones Lodge guys gonna come clean about the who we are, or they gonna go down with the devil?
First of all, every lodge been infiltrated, but every lodge is not controlled by the infiltrator. Every one of the infiltrators is known. If you remember this morning when we listened to Mama Bear, she said some of them we gonna have to execute. This is what she talking about. So the lodges is just training programs. They just giving training programs, and the training simulators, which is the real life walking the path that you live. That's the part that they took the lie and gave it to us to follow a false path that goes in the wrong direction. So you're gonna see a lot of in the celebration, you're gonna see a lot of fraternities and sororities, stump clubs and shit involved in the celebration. And they are direct product, those Greek fraternities, direct product of the Prince Hall Lodge.
Hey, another question. All right, so all this been going on 400 years, maybe more, and everybody around the world, this is my own question, everybody around the world, they know who we were. They know this is our land, but they come right over here and joke and laugh with us, let us spend our money with them. They never told us nothing. Oh yeah, you niggas black. They agree with it. Why would they never tell us who we were, and why are they gonna be? Are they gonna come back to hunt them later?
It's haunting them right now as we speak. But the ones who kept the secret oath, right? They was given the oath in a Masonic lodge. Remember, the lodge has been hijacked. So they sworn under a death oath not to reveal who we are. Or in other words, they don't want somebody from the inside saying, hey, all it is a conjure war. Y'all niggas gonna wake up as soon as one of these niggas start telling y'all that y'all in the middle of a conjure war. Once you're in the middle of the conjure war and you realize what's going on and you realize that everything they teaching you is to keep you under a conjure. It's actual spell work that was done in secret societies. They all gonna answer for their dirt. But the ones that was in there, some of them we sent in as pale faces in order to kick those down to get us in there. So we could see what they was doing in secret that was keeping us oppressed in the open. Because you can't oppress a God. It's not possible.
I got a question from Josh Nelson. He says, who are the majority of the so-called black people that now live in Southeast United States? I guess he's talking about like Florida area, Cherokee, like Choctaw land.
Yeah, all of the tribes sent somebody to fight the Seminole Wars. So when you're going through the Southeast now, you have people that's from the Samoan Islands, got Samoan communities that's been there over 100 years, 200 years, because they fought in the Seminole Wars, but they wanted to keep their Samoan culture. Other ones amalgamated and blended in and became called Seminole. And that's because it was a mixture of tribes, but we call them Gullah, Gullah Geechee, Geechee Gullah. All these was different clans that we knew from the lingo. So even now, everybody got somebody in their family called a Dago. And a Dago is like a godfather, Don Capo, right? When that's his name under the family clans. But don't nobody know that. You ain't supposed to know that. But you supposed to know this motherfucker stay sharp, stay with money, and ain't finna get nobody a dime.
Next question is from Booty Mike Michaels. He said, "Can you own your straw man?"
Yep. Yep. But all that is owning your rights to your slave or your servitude, whatever you want to use the straw man to pay a pittance. The straw man is supposed to absorb the debt from the organic man, but instead they thrust the debt of the straw man upon the organic man, and we ain't never supposed to know. But as long as we sleep, we won't. We 3/5 compromise. They gonna rule over us because we civilly dead until we 5/5 realize, at which point we spiritually awake.
The next question is, what should we do with paper money, being that the system is going down, and what should we invest in the stock market?
The stock market is a show. It's a show right now. So they not all of the trading right now. They wrote that shit 6 months ago. They writing the trading for the dates according to the events that's scheduled to unfold on continuity of government. Wall Street was seized. Wall Street was seized for money laundering, human trafficking, and other nefarious things. The whole entirety of Wall Street is only running so they don't make the people panic. It's the reverse to the 1929 scenario because the market is gone. What you're seeing right now, the economy is insulated for the people on the side of the people by the organic people of the land. But the problem is they keep recontracting per diem every time they clock in to work. And of a certain amount of people that's working, that's what's keeping them in power. And that's why they keep all of the sisters been talking about leaving it. They actually have been migrating away from the workforce ever since I think it was since July the 5th. So when enough of them walk away from the workforce, that's gonna cause the flip. And that's when the market gonna reveal the major crash. Because it already crashed, you just haven't been reported openly yet. As far as the paper money, it's going to be a buyback program, no questions asked, where you're going to be able to exchange your paper money and for gold. And the reason that is because the society we was under had us using monopoly money that had no value. So it's $1 trillion buyback option, and the option to secure the interests of the people is to make those with money, cash, greenbacks. Instead of just canceling the money, you phase it out by the buyback. And then some people will keep old notes and stuff as collectors, but for the money itself having value to spend, it's going to become no more than monopoly money.
The next question we got for you, brother. Hold on, let me read their name out. They got some good questions. It froze on me now. Oh, there you go.
I hope they do. I got some good answers.
All right, here we go. All right, so they say, how do we claim our sovereignty? Or do we have to claim our sovereignty, being that what the system is doing right now? How do we get out from under U.S. citizenship and anything else that's connected with this?
You have to abandon the contract. You have to abandon the contract because the contract is what's telling you that that you tied to the government. When you your declaration of not nationality, but your declaration of sovereignty is done by public notice. All forms of social media is acceptable. You just have to make it be known in the public domain by public notice in an archival format that you organic to the land, tied to the land, of the land, and from the land as a sovereign being, not under the jurisdiction of the legal fiction, right? So the terms we use is de facto for the legal fiction and the de jure for the rightful heirs. So when you become the de jure, the sovereign de jure, you break free from the papal bull of unum sanctum. And once you break free from the papal bull, you just don't recontract with them. They still here. And we recontract with them by doing anything that requires your social security number, driver's license number, or your handwritten signature. All of those are contracts that's tying you, that's giving them the per diem, clearance to operate for another day. The more people that's performing those functions, the longer this shit gonna take. That's called a knockback answer.
Knockback and a turn back. Hey, shout out to brother Black Noble for the super chat, man. We got more people and they asking questions left and right. We got them right here. It says, Mike Swagger says, I've been reading the book Jews and Blacks, and I need to know when they leaving and are they cool with us or are they not cool with us?
Read that one more time, Elder.
It says, I've been reading the Black Jews and Blacks. I've been reading the book Jews and Blacks, and I need to know when they leaving. They not cool with us. If they not cool with us, when are they leaving? These Black Jews or these Enlil's children of these Zionist Moorish Jews that we talked about. When are they gonna be stopped, or who's gonna stop them? I guess that's what they're saying.
They already they functionally out of operation, but what we not is in full control yet because it haven't been announced. But they ain't gonna, most of them already gone. You just don't know they gone yet. Most of the ones that don't belong here is gone. Some of them went to Antarctica and left through a portal directly back to Nibiru. Other ones was shuttled off world because they got to be executed off world, so they don't come back. Others is going to be executed with some called a soul splitter, and they won't be able to ever incarnate with that consciousness again. The consciousness will be dispersed back to a source. So they definitely not going to be here in the end. But they was the ones who was behind the biblical contract of 400 years in the sign of in the legend of Abraham and his children. So they're not gonna be here.
I got another question for you. We rolling from Tracy Howard. We got you, Tracy. Tracy said,
I went to school with a girl named Tracy Howard, Elder.
Tracy Howard says, man, I just had the damn question that rolled up. Just a second. We got you, Tracy. Oh, yeah. Man, this thing says, Tracy Howard, did this corporation turn over the land to the Chinese, or who did they turn it over to? I think we just answered that a minute ago, but go ahead.
That's what's in the Indigenous Rights Act, telling you that the law of the land is to be reestablished, and that the organic people we got first right to reclaim the land at the close of the age when all of the contracts is canceled. And that's our job. That's what we doing now. Information campaign to the grassroots, using social media as a vehicle to explain to the varying clans across the land that the shit is over. Just go home and sit back and watch the TV till that motherfucker cut off. Don't, use the idiot box for a purpose this time. Because they gonna start telling you when people start walking off their job in mass, because it's gonna happen. They're gonna either do it on their own or they're gonna be triggered by source.
I got another good one for you. I got it rolling. We got the next question is coming from the brother Love, aka Rhythm Solar. Can Rod Haynes speak on the barytheric gland and who it's going to, or who is developing it? I guess is what he's saying. The barytheric gland.
So when we had the barytheric gland, we was operating on what's known as the old mammal brain. We were operating with what's called the new mammal brain now. The barytheric gland was removed, but we able to do just as much now with the pineal gland and the new mammal brain, or what they call the neocortex or the new cortex or the new portion of the brain that we did with the barytheric gland. We just have to learn how to do the exercises to increase the functions: airbender, firebender, waterbender, earthbender, etherbender. And so once you understand what all of this stuff is entailing, then the barytheric gland's main function was psychic sight, psychic intuition, psychic vision. But that was like the second eye or the third eye, fourth eye. So when Paul talked about the barytheric gland, he talked about how they maimed us, right? That was called cutting you off from the tree of knowledge, because the pineal gland sit in the mother side, right hemisphere, and the barytheric gland used to be in the hippocampus on the lower left hemisphere, and it used to arc that way in order to pass messages from left brain to right brain and higher facilitated thought.
Okay. That's good. The next question we have is from brother Marquis Corey. Can you tell us more about the reunion with the higher self and the lower self, brother?
Well, mainly what it is shadow work. The union with the higher and lower self is called becoming one with your holy guardian angel is one term. Another term is purification of the soul. They say the purification of the soul is to purify the ego so that the soul can merge with it, right? All this is there's just another way of telling you about your awakening from the slumber of a Kali Yuga that was done as a conjuring.
Okay. The next question we got, because they rolling. The next question is from the brother Maurice Coopy. Can Rod Haynes speak on I Am America map?
I don't know. I have to see what map you're talking about.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what map it is neither, Maurice. The I wonder if you're talking about the new map where they showed the Mississippi River with 50 miles wide and parts of there was a beach in Corsicana, Texas. Atlanta had a beach, with the water coming up. I guess that's what he's talking about. We say the I Am America map, the new map of the whole layout after the ice capsules melt.
The polar caps, I don't see them melting to the magnitude within the next 100 to 200 years. You got to keep in mind the sun cycle was going to last for 6,000 years, and it's going to be hot, right? And the temperature is going to gradually increase, and we're going to be walking around in this shit, and it's going to be like marshy, tropical, humid around the world. Like if you look right now, the rivers is drying up in the grasslands, but they springing up in the deserts, flooding the deserts. The floods are happening in the deserts. You got to look at this stuff because it's important. The deserts and the dry areas of the earth is where the floods is happening. What's the side effect of flooding where all of the earth is barren and dry? What's the side effect of that flooding? The side effect of the flooding is it brings in sediment with the waters. The sediment becomes fertile soil. So the reason the waters is moving as a reorganization of resources by Mother Earth in order to bring back life where the life was lost. It's all symbolism playing out in a natural way, and we can read the symbolism by understanding the hieroglyphic of the matter, and then you can understand the science of it, right? So when they used to talk about the flooding of the Nile, and they used to take the soil from the Nile to make the gardens, right? And the gardens are still in the desert. But before that, Sahara Desert used to be tropical until they redirected or rerouted the Nile in order to fill in that hole where the Mediterranean is.
Hey, you telepathic, man, because I was just about to read that question out. So Lakeisha Niels, you got your question answered. She was asking why is it flooding everywhere and water drying up. You just answered. The other. All right. Shout out to Lakeisha Niels. You just got your question answered. I was just about to answer that question. You don't answer. All right. Is the sun getting closer to the planet, and is the planet rotating faster or tilting again to another degrees? Go ahead.
The sun is not necessarily closer, but the Earth's atmosphere itself is going through changes, and the physical Earth is going through changes, and all of the side effects of these changes is causing the temperature to increase. Along with when we move out of the Piscean house into the Aquarian house, there's also electromagnetic, ultraviolet rays. All this energy is converging on the Earth, so Earth becomes like that. The beam of light on the paper when you might use a magnifying glass to focus the sun. Earth gonna heat up, right? But it's gonna gradually increase in heat. That map in our lifetime, if it ever was to melt the polar caps completely, we wouldn't live to see that map come into fruition at the current rate of the polar melt. It would be too far away. Our great grandkids probably wouldn't even be here to see that map manifest as the aftermath of America.
We got another question from Lady Al. Explain how we set up the family bank before the total shutdown, please. I mean, what type of money? Because what type of money system are we going? Do you think we're going to be using to exchange goods or whatever after the shutdown? Go ahead.
So it looked like we're gonna be on quantum encrypted gold-backed currency, silver-backed currency, and depending on what country you in, is what your currency gonna be backed by. Something called gross domestic product, gross national product, and the families are going to be in charge of their part of the national wealth. So the family bank, there's tutorials that I shared before, but you can find them by going on YouTube and researching how to set up a family bank and give you the details of how it's set up. It don't need to be set up before the flip because it can't be utilized until after the flip. But before the flip, all you need to do is learn how to set it up and who's going to be at what position in the banking community. And everybody can't be on the bank board for the family. And they got to be the ones that you ain't got to worry about stealing all of the money from everybody else.
All right, that's a good one right here. The next question we got for you, brother, is who are the Black Africans that the Pope was kissing their ass and their feet when he went over? He was bending down low and kissing their shoes. Who is the why was he doing it? Why was the Pope kissing these Sudanese people or whoever they was shoes and shit?
All you got to do is look up why kiss the feet of royalty, and it'll give you the whole breakdown of the ritual of kissing their feet, right? And the Pope, supposed to be the closest living man to God, if he kissed somebody's feet, that makes him subservient to them. So them is his gods in essence, because that's whose feet he's kissing. Who they were, you can that ain't hard to find out. Just pull up the picture of the Pope, look at the country he was in, and you'll know which one of the royal families from over there that was.
Yeah, it was Sudan. It was Sudan when he was kissing their feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. The next question. Knock back, turn around. That's right, brother. We are just maintaining. Okay, all right. All right. So, okay, that's the next question. The national debt is 20-some trillion dollars, $30 trillion, right? Now, when now that the country is changing hands back to us, to the natives, will we inherit that? What we gonna do about the debt? Do it automatically disappear, or we don't? That ain't got nothing to do with us, or what is about the debt? The national debt. If we are the nationals.
Look, that shit don't got nothing to do with us. First of all, that was how much money that was borrowed with me and the ones similarly situated. Our labor was the collateral. That's how much money they borrowed against us to be their servants and their workers. The side effect is on the turnaround, the national debt becomes the national debit. So it goes from being a slave enforcement or a slave banking system to a payout system for the ones who they took the money from. That is the money that's going. So who do they owe the debt to? All right. Remember earlier I said the elders that was doing their job, Randall Robinson said that America owe us a debt.
Yeah.
Right. So if America owe us a debt, then that's the debt they owe us, and America can't pay. 2017, Trump filed bankruptcy. That's how you know that this shit is a charade. Because this is the last and final bankruptcy, because he didn't file, what he did, the way that he filed it is the prior bankruptcies, I think 2 majors and it's like several little minor ones along the way. But once he filed, it was a specific performance that he was filing about, right? And the specific performances goes back to House Resolution 191, Senate Bill 191, where they came up with, they were supposed to be paying all of our bills. But instead, they kept us in bondage and ignorance because they didn't want us to have the idle time to study. So that debt, it converts into a debit, and that's how the roads and the infrastructure get rebuilt.
Okay. The next question we have for you, brother: will there be a civil unrest on America or the Rex 84 plan? Do you see that working out? Whatever, arresting the natives because they don't know they're native and trying to get rid of them.
So Rex 84 has already been thwarted as part of the George Herbert Walker Bush Garden plot. When you trace it back, it was Rex 84 was written by Oliver North and another general in the military. And all of that shit been foiled already. That's what the notes was. Oh, excuse me. That's what the notes was at the funeral, that they was passing those subpoenas out because they was closing in on all this shit. So they won't be able to implement that because the FEMA transitional government is transitioning the government back to us. So unless we're gonna do it to ourselves, which we'd be a damn fool, it can't get done.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
As far as civil unrest, we've been in a perpetual state of emergency since 1776.
That's facts. That's facts. So you don't think there's gonna do you think there's gonna be a race war on American soil? White versus black?
That's the dumbest shit in the world for us to do that, because we was both being used, pitted against each other like two fighting dogs. You can't get mad at they fighting dog for winning. They just got a new dog in the fight and he ain't winning over me.
Right. It says, okay, all right, the next question we got for you. All trades that I am in Delaware, we conjure the land. All right, so Mike Swagger says, why would they use conjurates to steal the land? The conjuring.
They use the contracts to steal the rights to the land, because we can engage in contract law if everything is in the forefront. Part of the reason we closed out all of the treaties and contracts is two things: non-performance and what you call truth in lending in the contract. They lied in the contract. So because they was lying, had no intentions of holding their part of the contract. And the only reason they had no intentions of upholding it, because when we started following the steps of the contract, they kept murdering us. So they never had any intentions, but none of us who had the blood and the rights knew what to do to get them off the land. Right? So now that shit a wrap.
All right. Love Dinaro says, can you explain how Ethiopia and Hitler were allied in the Second Italian-Ethiopian War? Why did the Nazis help Haile Selassie?
The Nazi Germany was #1 allies with Italy, Benito Mussolini. They was go back to the Berlin Conference and look at the holdings, because the Berlin Conference took place in Germany. And this is where they divided the continent of Africa into the modern countries that we see now, like Angola, Somalia, Sudan. It wasn't the continent wasn't divided into that many nations until after the Berlin Conference. Once they had the Berlin Conference, then Italy became the protectorate under the contract that they had with at the Berlin Conference to protect their resources. Not only them, I think they was also the protectorates of Kenya, and was part of the bombing of the Mau Mau, right, to get them out. So they got several countries that they supposed to defend in times of war. And the resources, and if you look up the natural resources of Ethiopia, one of the biggest ones is going to be oil. Go look it up. And also they got a sizable portion of gold, and we already know it's a gold rush.
Hey, we got a question. Camille Mayberry says everything's going down, the people who rent, will they have a place to live, or will they get put out, or so have you?
The renters is going to be paid out of the national debt on the flip, but the landlords have no way of knowing that right now. And not only is it going to be paid out of the national debt, let's say you got to pay, because you got to compensate the landlords that's been struggling trying to maintain their properties. But if the property is blighted, they won't be getting any rent from that tenant until the house is brought up to code. It's going to go into escrow. So all of that stuff already worked out. It's just that we got to get out of the contract in order to resume sovereign plans to be sovereign people.
All right, I got another good one for you. We got the brother B Dub in the building. Shout out to brother B Dub. Hey, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you want to show your brother Rod Haynes some love, we posting this Cash App in the links every 5 minutes. All right, B Dub. He says, once we claim our sovereignty, our nationality, how do we make money for our families once we unplug from the system, the matrix?
When you unplug from the matrix, money is irrelevant. You can live off the fat of the land if you choose to live off the fat of the land. And one of the things that the Chiefs got to learn is how we call it get it from the dirt. This is like growing something. You got to get it from the dirt. You got to plant a seed and make that motherfucker grow. It's the same with living off grid. You can function better than the people in the system outside of the system because there's less restrictions on you as a sovereign than it is as a citizen, right? So how you make your living is based on your skill set. If you don't have no skills, you can't make no living. You're on your own. You're struggling for nothing. You got to develop some type of skills because in the meantime, in the interim, we can still deal with cash. Stay away from the credit.
I got another good one for you. This is a real good one. We got you, Rod 77. He said, what is the connection between the white Zionist Jews and the black Moorish Zionist Jews?
The black Zionist Jews tell the pale skin ones what to do. That's the difference. And the most of the black ones is hiding. They don't want to be seen in public and recognized for who they is. But the pale ones just come out in the open wearing their Hasidic garb on the Diamond Coast in New York. That's the difference.
All right. We got another question from Connie Turner. She says, when they summon you to go to court, should you show up or how should you deal with it in 9 days?
I don't know. I didn't been summoned. I just didn't answer. I can't tell another person how to, because your struggle is going to be determined on the decisions you make. So your personal decision has to come down to you taking accountability for the decisions you make. I can tell you when they told me to come to court, I ignored their ass.
Okay, I got another one. This is a good one. Bingo, bango. We got you, baby. What to do to keep the fraudulent law enforcement from infringing on our divine rights? How do you handle these agents? Go ahead.
Stay out their goddamn way. Look, we all know how to stay out the police way. We've been walking on eggshells since the motherfuckers been over here, right? So we know how to stay out the police way. If you don't know how to stay out the police way and you over motherfucking 15, you creating conditions and then you looking for somebody else to blame. It's easy to stay out the police way because you know what make them fuck with
you. All right. The next question we have for you, brother, is where do you see Nubians or us as the natives in 10 years from now? What do you see United States and the sense of people for 10 years from now?
I don't, based on the mathematics of what we're seeing today and the continuous rate, right? Watching this slow fall and building 10 years, we ain't gonna be at the bottom, I can tell you that. And we gonna be involved in a lot of things to develop what we call our psychic abilities. These classes is gonna be being taught throughout the land. It's gonna be turning you up to your higher self. Everything from this point is about spiritual ascension and anything. So spiritual ascension is overriding the need for the dollar. So the sisters is not going to be looking for the nigga with the most money. She going to be looking for the one that's the most woke. That's the transition that we making. That's just part of the process. It has to happen that way.
That's fire. The next question we got for you, brother, is what is the connection between Martin Lawrence, the Black Knight Moore, doing the show Big Mama? During the show Big Mama. What's the connection?
So, and he played the Black Knight. You got to look at the number on his jersey. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But he was telling us that these motherfuckers was the ones at our castles. And when he came and played Big Mama, he was telling us Big Mama was replaced by a man. And the man just so happened to be the vicar of Christ. But now we raising the matriarchy. It's the same thing with Madea and Tyler Perry, right? He was telling us the same thing Martin was telling us with Big Mama. Because one of the names for the family Big Mama is Madea. And another name is Nana. We use these different names to refer to our matriarchs as terms of endearment and recognition. So when you see him play it out in the parody, remember, the jester is the only person in the court that can tell the king the truth and keep his head. Do that, man.
Yeah, it's number 23. Shout out to brother. He had number 23 on Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what team was that?
It looks like it's a green jersey. It's it looks like the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. The Jets jersey. Somebody put out that in the link. It looks like the Jets. That's only jersey. This is the Jets or Green Bay. So the Jets or Green Bay, but I think it's the Jets. New York Jets. Somebody drop that in the chat, man.
I'm about to look it up now.
Look like it was the Jets. Football. They don't got no name on it though. Drop that in the. Oh, Michael Jordan was 23 too. Yeah, that's right. And I'm 23 too, baby. Yeah, the Eagles. It had to be the Eagles, right? The Eagles or the Jets. That's what I said. It's the Eagles. The Eagles or the Jets.
Eagle is the symbol for the chief. The green is the symbol of the earth. The 23 Jordan means to take flight. So he's saying the master 2 3s, 33 off the 2-3 flip. He's basically saying that the master is taking flight on their ass, showing you who the motherfuckers was.
Exactly. And that's why they called him Moore a whole bunch of times in that movie.
Yeah. But he kept telling them I ain't no more, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, because the eagle is the chief. In the wars between the chiefs and the it's the feathers versus fez.
Man, you cold, bro. Go ahead, brother. You putting it in, bro. You giving me some good shit right here. So he had a green jersey on, 23. He had the Eagles on, that's connected with us. He kept on telling them that he wasn't no more, because I'm gonna tell you, man, that land, because I looked at the land mass that the from the Moorish Empire, and what the 13 colonies was, they only had that piece of land, like we sold it to them or something. Like the natives sold it to them.
They was never supposed to cross the Appalachians and go into the rest of the land. They used the Louisiana Purchase and the protectorate of the indigenous people, the organic people, as the pretext to go and assess the land. Once they sent the Lewis and Clark to assess the land, and then that's when they seen our castles was empty because we all went to fight the war.
Go ahead.
So when they found out our castles was empty, they said that our land was abandoned. We abandoned ship because we crashed their ship until they shipped to Plymouth, what we know it as the Mayflower.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, so we got another question from the brother Bunta. Says, will we ever stop paying utilities or bills? Will we obtain free energy again?
But hey, look, now you see what we ask questions about, what we concerned about. We concerned about spending money and we ain't thinking about securing the wealth. Right? But all of the bills gonna be paid by the national credit when the debt flip. The debt gonna flip to a credit. It's gonna be a debit card for the nation or for the land.
Okay. Okay, we got another one. Message connected to my system. Okay, no basketball. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be in the future, I think, because hold on, let me get this question. Because everything we started staying with us. You know what I'm saying? That's just about everything. You know what I'm saying? That's just about everything.
Hey, you know what's gonna make some people sick to their stomach, Elder?
What?
That motherfucker they be talking about, I don't fuck with my family.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna get none of the family wealth.
Yeah, we're gonna deal with them when the time comes.
You always got the ones talking about they, I ain't gonna never talk to so and so in the family. You better bury that old ass motherfucking beef, right? Stop bringing that old dead shit up. Let it die. Going on about your life. Look at the future instead of the past. Motherfuckers make mistakes in life, or else they wouldn't be living their life.
Hey, the next question. That's a good one. That's good. Hey, the next question is, why did black people line up? Why was the 14th Amendment a bucket of grease, and that black people lined up to stick their hand down in and do their self? So why is the 14th? What's what he's saying is, why was the 14th Amendment used? I think he already broke that down, but go ahead if you want to just give some short answer on that. Why the 14th Amendment?
The 14th Amendment was instituted to convert sovereign tribes into subjects as citizens. That's all it was. It was to enforce the 3/5 compromise, meaning that you mentally inept and you spiritually inept. You can't be mentally inept and be spiritually aware. You can't be spiritually aware and stay mentally inept. You got to be both at the same time, right? When we talk about 3/5 compromise, this is what we're talking about, right? So your awareness come in 5 phases or your 5 levels of self development. And these is represented by your first 5 chakras ending at your throat chakra, right? So being able to utilize your throat chakra from the God mind, now you 5/5 realize, because now you exercising what Ryan Karinga wrote about it called Husia, authoritative utterance, exceptional insight. That means your throat chakra not blocked, your mental acumen is intact, and your spiritual development is in place because you've done the shadow work to purify the ego to facilitate the higher consciousness of the self.
We got another good one. Should you start stocking up water and food for the reset switch over? And how long do you think it's gonna last? Like all the McDonald's and all that gonna go away, like the fast food restaurants and the grocery stores. And go ahead.
So the reset, it's good to have a couple weeks of supplies on hand because you're gonna need it. Because all of the GMO distributors is gonna be closed while they find out a way to get some new food. All of the GMO foods have to go. All of the bovine growth hormones that they've been feeding to our kids, making girls hit puberty at 6, 7, and 8, and make boys hit puberty at 8, 9, and 10. This stuff had to stop because they're doing it on purpose and they know what they're doing, right? So all of that part of the rituals and practices.
I got another question for you. This from the brother Deborah Tracy. Deborah Tracy. Could you decode the Gods of Egypt movie? When they got Osiris, and then they got Set and all them in there, and Set came and killed Osiris, and then he pulled. I don't know if you watched that movie, God of Egypt. You watched that movie, Rod?
Yeah, that's too long to decode the whole movie, and I would have to watch it again so it's fresh in my mind in order to decode it. But it should tell you pretty much what you need to know.
Yeah. Story is pretty much is Satuk wanted to. He said that his brother was too soft, and he was letting niggas slide, and he wasn't hard enough on humans, and he needed to keep them at a certain level of information so that they can keep hosting them, because they wanted to be these beings use humans as hosts. These beings, Satuk now.
Right. See, what the human body is an artificial matrix. Remember, Noble Drew Ali say, man is truth and falsehood strangely mixed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's talking about the body's artificial intelligence versus the soul's pure intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Truth and falsehood is strangely mixed. How do you mix it together? The soul got to incarnate into the body, but certain conditions have to be met. Because the body has to vibrate at a certain frequency in order for your higher consciousness to interact with you.
Okay, I got you, A Duke. I got you, Duke. Shout out to brother Duke, man. Okay, let me read it straight up. Elder asks my question. Why illegal immigrants use the 14th Amendment to gain access into North America, which the 14th Amendment was meant for so-called black people? That's how he wanted it asked right there. I kind of butchered this question a little bit, but that's how he wanted it asked. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Okay, so the immigrants, they not even using constitutional amendments to get over here. They're using something called the immigration codes. That's all in the Immigration and Naturalization Services handbook on what they have to do. So before they come over here, they give them a study guide to what to study. Then they give them classes. Some of the countries tell them to set up the businesses in our community because the way that the contract was going, and they was kicking our ass so bad, we'll let anybody come in our communities and set up shop without making them pay taxes. Right? So the shit, I didn't mess around, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so yeah, they're not using the 14th Amendment. They're using immigration laws to come into the country. And they use immigration laws to get grant money to establish businesses, and they give them a chart that tell them what areas to put their businesses in, depending on what state they settle in. The natives here rock with the Orishas, but they didn't call them Orishas. They had different tribal names for them, but the energies that they was working with was the same. So even when you hear me reading about Anunnakis, Enlil, Enki, because they're not physically present, I have to read them as energy and not as people. But everybody will still understand it as if I'm reading people, when I'm actually reading the energy signature of a bygone era. That's called reading the Akashic record. You there, Elder?
Can you hear me? Oh shit, my bad. Damn, I read the question. Now I'm just gonna start reading the questions as they. I was trying to stay like read question after question, rolling down the thing, but now I'm just gonna the person that when your question pop up at the bottom, we're just gonna read the ones at the bottom. All right. So somebody Raven Dior question advice for a up and coming Aboriginal starseed in the teens becoming a great man in chief. advice for a up and coming Aborigines star seed in their teens. I think what she's saying is Raven Dior is saying give
I
her
got
some
the
advice.
question.
Okay, all right.
So study, don't take sides, don't believe none of what you read, but read it anyway so you'll know what they're saying. And develop your own judgment about what you read. Don't let nobody tell you that when you see a word, it don't mean what the fuck the word means, because they'll do that to you. As justification to push a dogma agenda. So as a team, learn to meditate. I would suggest Tai Chi because you learn to meditate while you're moving, or Qigong. They really good. Also, read everything you get your hands on.
All right, I got the next one. That's rolling the feed. Okay. A Duke, I like that. A Duke, my partner, man. A Duke. He said, so why do they claim 14th Amendment means they have a baby born here? It makes them a citizen. It helps me make sense of this.
The 14th Amendment, because they had a baby here, don't make them a citizen. The baby is the citizen, and they are the caretaker. So they leave them over here to take care of the seed. It don't got nothing to do with the 14th Amendment directly. It's all under immigrations.
Duke said, for the record, can you hear me? Hold on. Man, the hell? I say for the A Duke. You say for the record, she a female. We got you, Duke. We got you. No problem. All right, so we got Muffin Badgers. Muffin Badgers. How would someone who doesn't want to pay child support because of the way the system is set up, how would you get around it?
See, you're trying to get around some shit instead of getting away from some shit. But if you want to get around it, tell them to validate the debt. Anybody that's telling you you owe them something, you got to pay something, there's no debt. They got to show you the debt, or how much you owe. Well, they don't know how much you owe, how much you make. We just take this much. It don't work like that. Fair Debt Collection Act say anybody that is trying to bill you or make you pay a debt has to validate the debt upon request. If the debt can't be validated, the debt becomes void on its prima facie, on its face, right? So that's the way to challenge the debt that they're trying to enforce upon you. They turn the courts into a collection agency called Child Protective Services as their enforcers.
Hey, I got a question because people say people need to ask better questions because we got the legendary brother Rod Haynes on going right in on the questions. So I got a question. Okay, so we talked about earlier the mirror effect and the conjure walls that's going on both sides of the field. Now, okay, the pyramids, all they still using in the Georgia Guidestones, they got knocked down. Did that affect some of their alchemy, some of their conjure? Was that part of breaking down some of their conjuring on this side, the breaking down those Guidestones?
The Guidestones was a CIA notice. It was a notice that plot was called the Garden Plot, was the Illuminati's attempt to take world domination by taking over the land of Tahuti. So when they blew up the Guidestones, it just not that it interrupted their conjure, it was just a sign saying, hey, this shit been destroyed now. The shit that was on there, mass murdering people and all that shit is all part of a bygone era now.
All right, another question. We have a lot of brothers out here and you can talk lightly on this. You don't gotta say too much. But it's another question that I got to ask. I they call it what name for it is serpentine fire. That's what they call it. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but it's methamphetamines. What's they call it? Ethanol or whatever they calling it now. They call it another name for it now. This stuff they claim that I heard a brother said from one perspective that they was using it in ancient Kemet to give to the slaves to make them work hard in building the pyramids. I don't know how much of that is true. And then they said Adolf Hitler was using it. So what's your take on and then we heard that it passed to the Hell's Angels. Now, what's the alchemical sequence behind the Hell Angels messing with that shit? And your take on it.
You talk about methamphetamines?
Yeah. Why the Hell's Angels was pumping it, and they came from Vietnam and all that. Like it's a connection.
Well, the methamphetamine formula where everybody cooks up crystal meth was created by the CIA, right? So the CIA was the ones taught everybody how to make methamphetamines, or crystal meth is what it's called. And they was the ones behind it. That's why it's as far as the Egyptians giving it to slaves, that's not something I can verify. Because my understanding is the Egyptian people built the pyramids because they king asked them if they wanted to build the pyramids. They weren't slaves. I do know that there were types of mushroom, psilocybins, that was given to warriors in the time of war, as like same with the Zulu did it too under Shaka. But as far as them narcotizing slaves to make them do their bidding, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so like because they were trying to make people were trying to make a correlation with it, saying it was some high power shit just because they call it crystal and that crystals got the energy and all. It was a connection with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm not familiar with them using that in Egypt.
Yeah, me neither.
To make the slaves work harder and be more productive.
Yeah, they put
because that would only last for a good month before their body started to break down from it.
Exactly. See, that's what I said. That like it's acidics. The acidics is what's deteriorating us and making us age faster. Like eat meat. Protein is really acidic. It's really amino acid, and it's really what's making us age. Eat meat is what's making us age. My grandma lived for 100 and some years old, and she ain't eat that much meat.
Listen, Elder. We knew elders in the community that lived to be 120 and ate pig, the worst meat to eat.
Right? Go ahead.
They was eating pork and smoking cigarettes, and they should be salty as hell. And they didn't have high blood pressure. They didn't have high blood pressure. They didn't have diabetes or none of that shit. What happened that made these things become part of our reality is a long, drawn-out effort to break down the genetics. But it's only going to work for so long, and then we're going to adapt. We always do.
Hey, man, that was fire what you just gave me right there. That was fire. That was fire. So you think it's all so like when you start breaking down everything, okay, people still got waiting on your questions, man, because ain't nobody dropping a question. Does the black man and black woman is the black man and black woman God? Of course. Go ahead, bro. You want to go on that, bro?
Nope. If you don't know who God is, you ain't gonna never know.
Yeah, that's all right. My girl, my number one girl, Lee Carter. Is it a necessary skill to be able to perform excavations of spirit energy, or do we, or as Nubians,
not utilize occult skills or divinations? Go ahead.
Listen, that's what you call preferential practice. Everybody is not a priest. Everybody not made from the priest clan. Some people are just nobles and they not have none of the they not from the priesthood. So they would get the priest in the family to do their priestly work, and then they'll do the noble work, right? And the noble's work is the organizing of the family functions and all that kind of shit.
Hey, Trump, I don't know if you answered this question already, but this is another question I got. What's your take on Trump getting raided by the feds again, just so we can have that on this tape, the question and answer tape?
The Fed raid was looking for 72 secret treaties. They wasn't looking for what they telling you they was looking for. The 72 secret treaties is the treaties that they was using to keep us in this condition. Trump took them to the continuity of government, and that's where they at being reviewed by the elders from the land.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right,
a
we got
dog and
8 more
pony.
minutes. Okay, we got 8 more minutes with the legendary brother Rod Haynes. So you want to drop your questions so we can get him in real quick. If you want to show the brother Rod Haynes some love, we dropping his cash app in the links for you. So we got about 8 more minutes in the brother, because can't hold the brother long because he a busy man and he got shows lined up, man. So we gotta we're gonna just get 8 more minutes with him. And this right here class is fire. When I tell you this joint is off the hook, man, this joint is fire. Like, I'm gonna go make a list to this joint like 2 or 3 times myself, just to listen to just to get all this information. So it's like, it's good stuff. I got one right here. Cassidy Nix. Question: what is the role of the priestess of Isis here on Earth now? Ishtar, the priestess.
Well, they got priestly duties. They got family reconciliation duties to be doing mostly at this time, like bringing family members that ain't never met each other together, different stuff like that. But if they are priestess of Isis, they supposed to know their role.
Okay, we got another one. Cynthia Simmons. When I started my health got better. My primary care physician told me keep doing what I'm doing. May say, okay, I guess she's just saying, telling you that she stopped eating meat and look better. Hey, same thing with me, Cynthia. Even though we eat a little bit of fish, like like salmon and shit like that. Me, I don't even eat that no more because I don't like the way my wife put the salmon together. But I like that fried bass and that bass and that white perch. Tell you that now.
Yeah.
You gonna say
Again,
something?
the diet that your body gonna tell you. Some people not supposed to be vegan. Some people supposed to be vegan. Some people ain't supposed to. Your body gonna tell you what is a suitable diet for you, right? A good starting point is a book called "Eat Right for Your Blood Type," and that help a lot understanding of who work best as a vegan. Because some people, if they go vegan, their body won't hold nutrients. And that's based on genetic design for that bloodline, right? But through the mixing of the people over the last couple thousand years, you got a lot of people. You got 2 people in one family. One is a carnivore and the other is a herbivore.
That's right. I did a research on the blood types. A tiger has a B blood type. A tiger is carnivores.
Now they said at one point that these beings didn't eat meat, but they blood type is type B. Then I noticed that a lot of people with type B, they can eat their meat more raw than somebody with type O blood type.
Mhm.
So meat eater, if you got B blood type, you definitely connect back with the meat eaters. Reptilians. The B type is reptilian blood type. Is because you got cold blooded, and then you got warm blooded creatures. See, so we warm blooded. Then you got these other species that's blended from these other Hindus. They the B type, which is blended from the reptilians, the cold blooded being. Why I say these people are cold blooded. It was cold blooded what he did. He just ripped the guys. That reptilian ripped the guys jugular vein out, and he ripped the guy's heart out of his ass and ate it while his bit blood was oozing. That's that bleak that B carnivore type that blood type mentality, man. I'm telling you, man.
But
Dog,
it don't. If you eat meat or don't eat meat, it don't make you worse or better than nobody else.
to
Look,
me. Go ahead.
cause vegetables, your plant life is just as alive as the meat. Instead of bleeding red, most of them bleed chlorophyll, green. Some of them bleed white. That's called whatever kind of plant it is, that kind of milk. But the human is we just as much plant as the plant, and we just as much animal as the animal, but we just as much spirit as spirit.
Hey, I think if you a meat eater, you could go right out of the pasture where cows at, and just go right out there and bite right down into that cow's ass while he alive. Eat him alive, just like the rest of the carnivores. If you want to be a carnivore, now we really omnivores. You know, we eat like
Look. Yeah, tell the vegans to stop cooking their vegetables and the pescatarians to stop cooking their fish.
Yeah, right.
Right? They all make about the same amount of sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this too. Really, what we doing is reason why we cook it because we got to speed that meat up to a higher vibration in order for us to consume it. Some things that's not on our vibration, we got to speed it. We can actually eat certain most of all the vegetables raw. But like the meat, we gotta since it's dead, we gotta speed the vibration up with the heat and cook it to get it to a higher vibration. So when we consume it, it'll be more up to our speed, up to our vibration. That's why we gotta cook the meat, or it make us sick if we eat it. But certain beings on the planet can eat it raw because their vibration frequency is low. Like an animal's frequency is really low on a lower frequency than human. What you think about that, brother Rod?
I don't see too much wrong with that. I don't think we need, I can go to the next question.
All right, next question. We're gonna get about two more questions, then we're gonna let the brother Rod Haynes go, man. Okay, plants are dead. Okay, come on, we got somebody drop one good one. Image being born without fuck. Okay, all right. Who? Go ahead. Somebody drop a good one in there, man. All right, question from Cass Williams. Can we astral project and manifest things faster because we are non-ether beings?
Anybody that can astral project is going to always have a faster manifestation turnaround because they developed themselves to a higher level. It don't got nothing to do with you being melanated in the skin, but more with you being melanated in the brain. Neuromelanin is what it's called.
Neuromelanin. That's a good one. Vegan food. Okay, all right, go ahead. Okay, what happens? All right, this will be the last one right here. We out, man. We're gonna come back at you tomorrow, another day. We going live, man. We in the building. Okay, so what's happening 2022 years time reset? Okay, and question really. Let's see. We need a good one. Give me somebody got to get a good one. Hey, somebody got to hit that lottery, hit that question lottery, man. Come on with a good one. All right, so
Somebody said, while you looking for a question, somebody mentioned the chemtrails. So what you seeing now is chemtrails being sprayed to clean up that bullshit they put up there. So you got to put chemicals up there to get the iron, the sulfur oxide, aluminum nitrate, all that shit out of the atmosphere. That's what they spraying up there now.
So it's pretty much the cleanup. They got to clean up that shit.
Yeah. And they trying different stuff to get the plastics out of the ocean, man. There's so much stuff being cleaned up right now to try to tell you every little thing is a whole show in and of itself.
Hey, my bad for cutting in, Rob. You know, I think that's got something to do with that lightning too, with the air being more. I feel like the air is getting more cleaner, and then I feel like that lightning being louder has got something to do with the air being purified or something like that. They doing something, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you got to remember the ozone layer is getting closer to the surface of the earth. That's almost like putting half of the sky on the ground.
Oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead.
So it makes the sound barrier from Earth to the ionosphere in the ozone. It makes it tighter together, which amplifies the sound. Like putting the speaker in a box makes it louder than the speaker out the box. But that's the thunder. All this lightning you're seeing, that's them Crips walking. I keep telling these motherfuckers it's an accumulated rain dance taking place. And this is why you're seeing water in dry places, because they activate the energy that ain't been activated, which is causing the earth to give us a display of what's being done spiritually.
Man, you just crack heads and twist caps. I got a tape coming out on that on the Crips, and how they were connected really was a tribe. So that's gonna be coming out next week. I mean, they were this week. All right, so hey, brother Rob, we're gonna let you go, man, because I know you got to, take care of business and do your research and chill. We can come back on tomorrow or whenever you're ready. Just let me know, because this is what we do. We bring the news you can use to the family and to the tribes on the land. We waking up the tribes on the land. We giving them what you can use, baby. We giving you hope. We the gods to come
fuck
back.
that. I don't want to give them hope. I want to give them reality.
Yeah, we give it reality. Some people
Look,
don't like the word
long
hope.
as you listen, Jesse Jackson say keep hope alive. Long as a motherfucking hoping, he ain't attaining. We trying to attain some shit now. Fuck hoping. We done with that shit. Kill hope right now. Murder hope. Put 2 bullets between that bitch head. Let hope go. We don't need hope now. We need motherfucking thinking, and each one teaching one. That's what we need. We don't need no hope.
Each one teach one. I like that. So hey,
we all gotta read some.
We about to get ready to get up.
Read some.
Hey, we can't. Hey, the brother Rod Hayes. This right here is a classical tape right here. This is classic, man. This question and answer tape right here is one of the finest tapes that they really did, because we just got directly into just answering like a lot of questions that people had that they really wanted the answers to. We didn't get to everybody. We'll do a part 2. Well, you get your questions answered on the next one, man. So like I said, we're gonna have all we got the brother IG in the links. We got the Cash App in the links if you want to show the brother some love. Man, we want to thank y'all for tuning in, man, to the Young Elder TV, Young Elder Show, man, with the brother Rod Haynes live. Free Larry Hoover, free Malachi Z. York, free Angel Bay, right? We about to get up out here, man. Islam. You want to say something, Rob, before we get out of here?
No, let's go ahead, Elder. Close it on out. You're doing good, brother. We'll be back.
Peace, love, Hotel, divine love throughout the violence universe to all. All right, thank you, brother love. I mean, thank you, Rod. We're gonna get out of here, man.